Let's begin by creating an assets package inside of our com Gingy Deep Turtle package. This is the folder where we'll store all of our assets, and it's also the place we're going to store our embedded assets class. Our embedded assets class is going to be the class where we embed all of our assets. We're also going to multi-purpose it to act as our sound engine later, since all of our sounds are already neatly stored inside. The sounds engine is a multi-channel real-time sound manager and downloader. First, let's paste all of our assets into our assets package. And let's take a look at our assets sprite sheet. You can see that it stores our background elements, the different layers of our background, as well as our start and stop buttons. Now let's look at our animation sprite sheet. Here we have all of our animated assets as well as our obstacles. Our obstacles are going to be coming from the top and bottom. The tentacly part is the asset that will be at the tip of our obstacle, whether it's pointing up or down. Because our obstacles from the top and bottom will be of varying length, their bodies are composed of repeating elements. See the purple rectangle? This element will repeat and we'll paste our tentacles at the tip so we can have obstacles of varying length. So first step is first. In our embedded assets class, let's start embedding. We'll start with our font, which we must embed for any text to appear. Using fonts in Gingy is fairly easy. You can define a default font in the settings XML, and that, unless you specify differently, will be used across the application. So let's type embed source in the path of our font. Make sure to get the capitalization right. And then font name. I'm going to call it Levy Brush. Embed SCFF equals false. And then we're similarly going to embed our animation sprite sheet and our asset sprite sheet. Assets.png. Okay. Since we'll be needing IDs for our sprite atlases, let's just create two variables, similar to how we did it in our element IDs class. Public static const assets atlas, which is a string that will contain the word assets, and public static const animations atlas, which will be a string containing the word animations. Great. Now let's create an init function. Public static function init, and inside we're going to load our two sprite atlases using Gingy GUI module. Let's copy it and do the same for Assets Atlas. Now Gingy will take care of all of our assets and animations with minimal effort on our part. Finally, we're going to load our sounds. We'll begin by initializing our sound engine, Gameology Sounds Engine, which, just so you're not confused, is called Gameology Sound Engine for legacy reasons. And then it's as easy as loading our MP3s. So load sound, and then just point to it. It's in our assets folder, and it's called flap1.mp3. And once again, you'll see our convention at work of using variables containing strings instead of strings themselves. Let's just do the same thing for our other MP3s. Flap2, flap3. And then our song, which is called deepturtle.mp3. Our success sound that plays when you pass an object. Our fail sound that plays on collision. And that's it. Let's just go ahead and create the variables we've used here. So that will be private static const. I'm just going to put them under a sound manager heading for clarity's sake. Private static const flap1, which is going to be a string containing the word flap1. Just copy it and do the same for the other sounds. Before we forget, let's go back to our main class and call our embedded_assets.init function in our onComplete function. That's all for embedded assets. Thanks for watching.